What you're going to have is a world where Hitler can live to 1,000 years. What you're going to have is a world where Stalin can live to 1,000 years. What you're going to have is a world where your rapists, your armed robbers, your pedophiles and child molesters and all these evil people that are eager to do evil to other people, they can live long life because they will never fall sick and they'll never die. Hi, happy Hamatan season. I hope it's treating you nice. So here I'm Sam again, coming to you from First Anthropos, and I'm going to continue from where we stopped the last time. I'm trying to convince you that even in all the pain and suffering, God is there with you, right? And the last time we spoke about moral evil and people's ability to do evil and how that cannot be taken away from them. But today we're going to be going into a different kind of pain and suffering, that a different kind of cause of pain and suffering, something that brings a lot of pain and suffering into people's lives, and that is what is called natural evil. Now, if you've not watched the last episode, please make sure you watch it so that you can have a seamless flow and have a whole understanding of all that we've been saying. So, what is natural evil? Natural evil is the things that can cause pain and suffering in our lives that do not come from deliberate human efforts. These are things that we don't have control over, and these are things that can be really, really painful and hard to understand why they happen. For example, things like cancer. When someone that is a good person, someone that has been very good to people, someone that has a good heart gets cancer and their life is cut short, it can be a really painful thing. Things like car accidents. We are all in the season where we're talking about the death of Kobe Bryant. Things like car accidents, helicopter crashes, plane crashes, where good people, through no fault of their own, somehow lose their lives to something that they can't control. Or sometimes when you talk about things like congenital malformations, babies that are born into this world who are innocent, these babies have never done anything wrong, right? And then they somehow are born with some kind of congenital defect that affects their entire life course while they're going to be on the earth. Tsunamis that can kill thousands of people at a time, burst of epidemics, diseases, things that we can't control. These things can cause a lot of suffering in people's lives. And if you are going through something like that, if something like that is happening to you or to someone that you love, again, like we said last time, one of the questions that you can ask yourself are, you tell yourself that there can't be God in all this. And even if there was a God in all this, this God cannot be good. And even if he is good, then that means he doesn't have all power. So I'm going to offer you a fourth option. What if he allowed the world to be like this on purpose? What if he allowed natural evil for a reason that is a really good reason? Let me give you one of them. In the 90s, there was a brutal dictator that was running Nigeria that died. I don't want to mention names, but we all know who the person was, right? And when he died, I remember distinctly that my people, folks around me, were very happy and they were rejoicing. Now, people were rejoicing at the death of someone. And I'm sure everybody can relate with it, that when a bad person dies, everybody rejoices. It's even in the Bible. That phenomenon right there is the reason why God allowed natural evil. Look at it like this. And let me say it like this. I'm going to start by saying it like this. A world where there is moral evil, because like we said the last time, moral evil is given, right? People are always going to have free will. If there was no free will, then there's no point. We wouldn't even be having this conversation, because I won't be able to choose to have this conversation, and you won't even be able to understand me. You wouldn't even be able to complain that there was no God, or that God has not been with you in your pain and suffering, right? So free will is a given, right? So if we have a world where there is free will and people have the capacity to do evil, bad things to each other, and that world does not have natural evil, right? That means that in that world, they can live to 1,000 years. They will never fall sick. They will never have car crashes. They will never get old and begin to have weakly joints. They will never have heart attacks. They can never die. They can literally live like they're living in paradise. Do you know all that is going to happen? All that is going to happen is that you're going to have a world where bad people are living very long lives to be able to inflict pain on other people. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. What you're going to have is a world where Hitler can live to 1,000 years. What you're going to have is a world where Stalin can live to 1,000 years. What you're going to have is a world where your rapists, your armed robbers, your pedophiles and child molesters and all these evil people that are eager to do evil to other people, they can live long lives because they will never fall sick and they will never die. Right. And you know the interesting thing? People who are good, people who have a good heart, will never have the kind of courage and will to do evil, to rise up and fight against these evil people, because people that have evil in their minds always have more will to do what they want to do than good people. So what you're going to have is this: a world where evil people are really living long lives to oppress people who are tender-hearted. And then all the tender-hearted people who would normally have been tender-hearted, after spending so much time in oppression, will now decide also to become oppressors so they can live. So you either become an oppressor or you become the oppressed. And you're going to have a world that stays long in that kind of paradigm. Trust me, that kind of world is worse than this kind of world. Because think about it. Where is the judgment? What will be the hope of judgment? What will be the hope that our lives matter? What will be our hope? And that is the reason, that is actually the summary of the story of everything from Genesis chapter 1 to 11. Let's not go into the details of whether or not those stories were literal or not. Let's leave that for another day. But the issue is this, right? This is the essence of the story. Man became corrupt. Man fell. Man took on the ability by eating of the knowledge of the tree of good and evil, and by doing that he took on the ability to become evil, to be able to do evil to other people. And God said, hold up. Up until the time of Noah, everything he began to do was to make sure that the world was compatible with the new nature that man had. A corrupt people can only be compatible with a corrupt world. You cannot put corrupt people in heaven. And that is the reason why we have hope, right? So think about it. In Romans chapter 8, Apostle Paul tells us something very beautiful. He says that the earnest expectation of all creatures, that's all creature, all living things, the expectation that they have is that one day they'll be liberated from the corruption that is in this world, is to be liberated from the pain in this world. He said they were put in this painful world not on purpose, but for a hope. And what is that hope? Even we believers, even we children of God, are looking toward that hope. And what is that hope? That one day we are going to be redeemed and liberated from this painful world. So look at the wisdom of God, right? People became corrupt, so he put a corrupt world to limit the amount of pain they can cause other people. But he didn't stop there. In his infinite wisdom, he now did it such that after this world, those corrupt people are going to get theirs. They're going to get their punishment. They're going to get their judgment. But the good people will now be liberated into eternal joy. Yeah, this is the only way it makes sense. This is the only way that we have hope. If you want to push God away because you are going through some things that you can't control, I want you to understand that it is actually the wisdom of God that you have hope after now. After now, you're going to be liberated into peace. And all the things that have caused you pain and sorrow will no more be. They will no more exist. But if you reject God now because of this, you're just going to lose on both ends. Because you're going to rob yourself of enjoying the peace and joy that comes after the liberation. It is also our hope where we have joy that we know that people who have done evil are going to get their judgment. They're going to get what's coming to them. Because if there was no God, there is no judgment. And that means the lives we are living is the same as if we had lived it any other way. So, what am I saying? It's tough when things that you can't control happen in your life. It can be really painful when things that you can't control happen in your life. But I want you to know that even in all those things, God is there with you. God is all powerful and He's there with you, and He has a plan. And that plan is to give you peace and joy, even in all these things. That plan is to enable you to live through it, because He has an eternal counsel, which makes even more sense than the alternative that you are asking for. All that I'm saying is that don't reject God because of all this. He's truly wise, and He's truly endlessly creative and powerful. And there are a lot of good reasons why He would allow the world to be as it is, just like you can see. So do not reject Him because of the pain you are going through. Embrace Him, receive Him today. He came in the form of flesh just because He wants to have a relationship with you. He really wants to have a relationship with you. And Jesus is that way that He can have a relationship with you, right? So don't reject Him because of the pain you are going through. He's right there with you, and He's gonna make everything all make sense. If you have a question, if you want to reach out, if you have something that you want to talk about, our email is in the comment section. Just send us a mail and we'll be able to explain and elaborate more on the things that we have said. So until next time, I want you to stay blessed and be good. Bye.